welcome back. So I have this super exciting video for you today. I just got this in the mail this week and I was so excited to try it out, but then I thought, hang on a minute, it keeps selling out. Not everyone has this yet. So I went through my entire makeup collection and I found dupes. Just give me 1 second. I'll show you all the dupes. Are you ready? This is all the dupes that I have found. Look at that. So if you have not gotten your hands on this palette just yet, or if it's out of your price range, I have got the video for you. You might have this in your collection already, so you can get a head start on it. In this video today, I will go through all the dupes, show you them all, and then later I will do a comparison. So on my left eye right now is the Royal Peach palette, and on the right eye I have all of the dupes, so you can see and compare exactly how they look on. I wanted to do this demonstration. I thought it was a really cool idea. Hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to give this a thumbs up. If you aren't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you do enjoy my company, so we can hang out some more. So anyway, let's get right into the video. So I've written them all down. Alright, so for the sorbet. For the first shade in the Royal Peach palette, the dupe I have found is this one here in the Share Next So palette. Row number 2, shade number 1. For the shade seashell. For the shade seashell. For the shade seashell. Oh my god, what's wrong with my English? Seashell. Alright, here we go again. For the shade seashell, I have found a couple of dupes. The first one is this one right here in the Morphe 350 Shimmer palette. Third row, second last shade. Also in another Morphe palette, it is the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. I found another dupe. It is first row, fourth shade, this one right here. Another dupe is from Makeup Geek and it is called Into the Spotlight. Another shade again is in the Makeup Geek Manny MUA collaboration palette, and it is this one here called Cosmopolitan. For the shade Peachy, I found these dupes right here in the Morphe 35C palette. I mixed them together on my eyes in this look, and I find mixing them together gets a more accurate representation. So mix them together. Another dupe I found for Peachy is in the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette, and it is second row, 7th shade. This one right here. For the shade Royal, it is very interesting because it actually comes off a lot darker than it looks in the pan. So the shade I found was also again in the 35C palette, and it's this blue one right here. Again, for the Royal shade, I found in the Rich Gems Chi Chi palette, this one here. The only problem with this one is it does have a bit of shimmer in it, where the Kylie one is completely matte. But it is still a very similar colour payoff. Moving on to Queen Bee, I found 3 dupes, and one is this one right here up the top. This is a good dupe for Queen Bee, and this is in the Tardis Pro palette, by the way. Another dupe is second row, second shade in the Kylie Bible palette from BH Cosmetics. Going again back into the Rich Gems palette, in the 5th shade we find a dupe for Queen Bee as well. For the the shade Duke, I have found in the 35U palette, second shade, second color, this one right here. Another dupe for Duke is this one here in the 35 shimmer palette, 350 shimmer palette, sorry, my mistake. It is third row, last shade. For the shade Duchess, we're going back in with the Kylie palette and going in with the second row, fourth shade is this one right here. I've actually found a few dupes for Duchess, so hang tight. Also going back in with Rich Gems, the 7th shade. This one here is a dupe for Duchess as well. Again, we're going back in the 35U palette, and the second row, first shade is a dupe again for Duchess. And finally for Duchess, we have again going into the 350 shimmer palette, this shade right here. Very last row, very last shade. For the shade Sandy, we're going in with the 350 matte palette, second row, fourth shade, this one right here. Another dupe for Sandy is in, just dropped another brush. Another dupe for Sandy is in the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette in Raw Sienna, this one here. Another dupe is Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee, and that is the final dupe I have for Sandy. For Magito, that shade. For the next shade, I don't know what it's called, how to pronounce it. I had to mix two colors because I believe it was like more of a duochrome finish. So I mixed Makeup Geek in Jester, this one here, and Untamed, this one here. Mix them together, they look so close. You'll see in the swatches. For North Star, I actually found it quite difficult to find a dupe, but I found three very close ones, which is in the Tartus Pro palette again in Minx. Also Makeup Geek mixing Masquerade and Whimsical. So this one and this one here. Mixing those two, get a very similar color. Finally, we're going in with the BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Blushed Neutrals palette and the final dupe for North Star, and it is second row, fifth shade. This one here. For the shade Crush, I found a couple of dupes again going straight back in with that Blushed Neutrals palette from BH Cosmetics. Second row, third and fourth shade, both very close. Mix them together as well if you like, get even closer color again. The final dupe for Crush is Makeup Geek in Mango Tango. The very final shade of the palette is Cinnamon, and I found two dupes for that. The first one is Realgar, that's what it's going to be called today, in the Modern Renaissance palette again, this one here. And the very last dupe for today is in the 350 matte for Cinnamon, and is the last shade, last row, last everything. This one down in the corner right here. Alright guys, so that completes the dupes. Make sure to like this video if you did enjoy those dupes. Now we're going to move on to the comparison where I try them on my eyes. Remember, the left eye will be the Kylie palette and the right eye will be the dupes. I did not cheat at all, I promise. I did it very honestly so you could really see. You can see there are slight differences, but look, they look like super duper close. So let's go into the makeup tutorial now. Alright you guys, so my face is completely done, so we're going to be doing the eye makeup for this look. Keeping in mind the left eye will be the Kylie palette and the right eye will be all the dupes. The first shade I'm picking up is Sorbet, and I'm going to pop this all over the lid and up into the transition area as well. And going in with the dupe for the right eye is the XO palette, putting in the same area as the left eye. As you can see, there is some slight colour difference, but it is pretty similar. The next colour I'm going in with is Peachy, and I'm popping this all into my crease area and in wind wiper motions. I'm going in with the 35C palette here, taking up the second row, 5th and 6th shade, copying the same way I did with the left eye. As you can see, this Morphe palette looks a little bit more intense than the Kylie palette, but then I went back in with the Kylie palette and made it a bit brighter, and as you can see, it now matches. The next shade I'm going in with is Cinnamon. I'm popping this all over the eyelid and pushing it up into the crease and blending it nicely. The dupe is in the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette in Real Girl. The colours are very close for this one. Going back in with the Kylie palette, we're going in with Duchess, and I'm going to be popping this just for a bit of shimmer onto the eyelid. It is quite subtle, but it's really pretty. Going in with the Kylie Bible palette from BH Cosmetics, taking the second row and 4th shade, I'm doing the same application. The next shade in the Kylie palette is Duke, and I'm just pushing this along the base, the lash line, and on the outer half of the eyelid. Taking the 350 shimmer palette from Morphe in the 3rd row last shade, I'm doing the same thing again on the outer half of the eyelid and down near the lash line. Going back in with Cinnamon, we're going to pop it along the bottom lash line and smoke it out. And back in with Real Girl, the same thing on the other side. These colours look really close, as you can see. Going with Royal, the Kylie palette, I'm going to pop this along the bottom lash line as well. I'm kind of copying the signature move from the packet itself. It's quite stunning. And going in with the 35C palette, 3rd row, 3rd shade. Really smoking it out. Using the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in black, that's going to go in my waterline. Using Becca Champagne Pop, I'm highlighting my brow bone and also the inner corner of the eye as well. Using the Australis Mega Lash Mascara, I'm popping it on my eyelashes. For lashes today, I'll be using the Queen Bee. I just got these recently in the mail, so I was super excited to try them out. my lips, I'm going in with Dirty Peach from Kylie Cosmetics. Of course, I had to. This look, I'm going to try and keep peachy and beautiful. So that is what I'm using. And that is the completed look. As you can see, the colors look really, really close. And it looks kind of identical. Thumbs up from me. So that is all completed now. I hope you found some really exciting dupes that you can use at home and you enjoyed the comparison part as well. Hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! So pretty! I feel like a waitress, like I'm delivering you some dupes today. Would you like some? So I thought I would find some dupes. Some dupes. Oh! Don't fall. Don't fall. They're all just so similar. Oh my gosh. Yay. Look, you can see my whole messy desk right there. Ah dear.